Hello students, today we are going to start our new chapter of Business Studies, class 11th, and the name of the chapter is Emerging Modes of Business. So students, we know that in today's era everything got changed. The technology has been changed, the time has been changed, the clothing system has been changed, everything has been changed. So we always noted that our business organizations also changes. It means that our way of doing business is also changed. That is called emerging modes of business. It means that the changes occurs in the business, that is called emerging modes of business. So first of all, we will have to understand what is the meaning of e-business. E-business means the business activities that is conducted with the help of internet is called e-business. In business activities, industry, commerce and trade all are included. That we already discussed in chapter 1. So e-commerce means industry, trade and commerce activities are conducted with the help of internet is called e-commerce or e-business. Firms not uses only general internet in the e-business, but they also uses private and personal internet facility for their internal functioning. Scope of e-business. In e-business, planning, organizing, marketing, production, all activities related from business are included in the category of business or e-business. That is also the scope of business. According to scope, the transactions are extended into four directions. The first one is B2B. What is the full form of B2B? B stands for business and B2B means business to business. So, if the transactions occurs between two business, that is called B2B transaction. It means that suppose if I am a businessman and I am making furniture. For making furniture, I will have to purchase wood. So, from the party I purchase wood is also a business. I am also a business because I am manufacturing furniture and I will have to purchase wood for manufacturing furniture. So, for purchasing that wood, I will have to deal with the another business. It means that the transaction between me and that business occurs is called B2B commerce. It means that the business transaction between two business houses are called B2B commerce. It includes creation of utilities, collaborations, commercial negotiations, inviting tenders, distribution of goods from manufacturer to various distributors. The second direction, that is B2C. Here B stands for business and C stands for customers. It means that the transaction between business to customer is called B2C transactions. The B2C transaction also invites C2B. It means that if business transact with the customer, that also invite customers to communicate with the business. So B2C invites or scope creates for C2B also. It means that in this type of transaction, the business houses deals with the customer, that is B2C. For example, Flipkart, Amazon, all type of business comes under the heading of B2C commerce because Flipkart is a business and that they are dealing with the customers directly. So they included in the category B2C. What is the uses of B2C segments? First one is selling and distribution. They provide after sale service, promotion and other marketing activities, loading of complaints by customers. All are the included in this category. The next type is C2C. C stands for customers. So C2C means customer to customer. The transaction between one customer to another customer is called C2C commerce. We know that OLX. In OLX, one customer sell their product with the help of internet and the other customer purchase the product with the help of internet. So both the parties, the seller and the purchaser, both are customers. So if two parties are same category, like both are customers and they're dealing with each other, that is called C2C commerce. The C2C commerce transactions may involve selling used books, clothes. It means that they always sell second hand goods. So selling used books or clothes means second hand books and clothes. Selling antique items, that is already used by the another customer and one customer sell that product. So that is antique items also comes under this heading. Warning customers about fraudulent suppliers. Sometime before purchasing any product, we will have to check the review of other customers. That also comes under the heading of C2C commerce, because one customers giving their view regarding the product and the other customers, after reading the complaints and suggestions, the customer purchase the product. So in this case, customers helps to another customers, that is warning customers about fraudulent suppliers, is also comes under the heading C2C commerce. Information about quality and durability of the product comes under the heading. The next one is intra-B commerce. If two parties that are related from same business and they're dealing with each other, they transact with each other, is called intra-B commerce. They also called intra-B commerce. In intra-B commerce or intra-B firm, both the parties are related from same business. For example, if marketing manager deals with the or communicate with the production manager, that comes under the heading of intra-B commerce, because both the parties are related or belongs from same business. So that is intra-B commerce. In intra-B commerce, the transactions may involve interaction between any two departments of one firm, placing order and giving instructions to suppliers, communication of important information in the whole organization, recruitment, selection, training of employees, reporting by employees to their managers, all comes under the heading of intra-B commerce. Business versus e-commerce. In first chapter, we studied that commerce is a part of business. So in e-commerce also, e-commerce is the part of e-business. E-business is a whole term or wider term, and e-commerce is a branch of e-business. So meaning of e-commerce means distribution of goods and services, whereas e-business means production, distribution, after sale service, and everything that activity that included in the business comes under the heading of e-business. Opportunities or benefit of e-business. First one is easy to form and lower investment is required. For operating e-business or internet business, there is no need of hiring soap, there is no need of salesman, no need of displays, no need of decorations of the shop. It means that is required less investment. So it is easy to form. Second one is convenience. E-business is very convenient. Nowadays, with the help of e-banking or with the help of e-business, we can conduct our business at our home, sitting at our home. Million of people exchange information with the help of a single click of a mouse. Speed. E-business is very speedy. You can conduct business with a single click of a mouse. The benefit is more in the case of products like softwares, movies, music and books. All are very speedy way you can purchase and sell their product with the help of e-business. Global reach. Now, with the help of e-business, the whole world comes under in our pocket. It means you can transact anywhere, any business who can operate internet. It means any business who has been access the internet, you can communicate or you can purchase the product from that business. There is no limitation of geographical area. That is the one of the major advantage of global reach or e-business. In e-commerce, customer have wider choices. If we are purchasing goods from a soap, that time we have limited choice, but in e-business we have wider choices. Cost saving. E-business is cost saving activity because there is no need of showroom for displays, no middlemen are required, no salesmen are required, no decorative activities are required, no advertisements are required. So that is cost saving. Movement towards a paperless society. Use of internet has reduced the dependence on paperwork and red tape. Many companies have started electronic forms instead of paper form. In electronic form, the information can be given online. It means that the seller the seller send the information with the help of internet. There is no need of file. There is no need of bundling the paper on the file. So that reduces the paperless. That reduces the paper activities. That is also the advantage of e-business. What is the basic difference between e-business and traditional business? First one is formation. E-business is easy to form and traditional business is difficult to form. Personal touch. In e-business, no personal touch. But traditional business, personal touch is occurred. Setting up cost. In e-business, the setting up cost is low. But in traditional business, the setting up cost is high. Operating cost is low in the case of e-business and high in the case of traditional business. Physical examination. Not possible in the case of e-business. Before purchasing the product, you cannot physically examine the product. But in the case of traditional business, you can easily examine the product before purchasing. Easy of expansion. E-business is a very easy way for the expanding of the business. But in the case of traditional business, if you want to expand your business, that is the difficult task. Human resource required. In e-business, technically qualified and IT professionals are required. But in traditional business, semi-skilled and skilled labor are required. Risks are involved. In the case of e-business, high risk, and in the case of traditional business, low risk is involved. Distribution channel. In the case of e-business, there is no need of any channel. The customer directly purchase the product from the manufacturer. But in the case of traditional business, the channel is very large. Manufacturers sell their product to the wholesaler sell their product to the retailer, and after retailer, the customer purchase the product. So there is a hierarchy of channels. Length of business cycle. The business cycle length in the case of e-business is short. But in the case of traditional business, the length of channel or the length of the business cycle is very longer. So students, in this chapter, BPO is deducted from our syllabus. We only have to study only KPO. So KPO means knowledge processing outsourcing. They are knowledge related and information related work. For example, if we are suffering any problem in our phone, that time we make call to the call center, and after waiting or after communicating with the normal experts, we communicate with the experts. That expert belong from KPO because the person who has fully knowledge about this problem. So that person is related from KPO. He is handling the work of KPO. And we generally talk call centers the receptionist, that is BPO. But if we call or if we take suggestion from expert, that is called KPO. Features of KPO. Main difference between BPO and KPO is the KPO usually focused on knowledge intensive and BPO focused on significance expertise. The main of KPO has to create value for client. KPO involves advanced analytical thinking, technical skills, decisive judgment on experience. KPO increase efficiency and result in cost saving. Common services that is provided by the KPO are research services, legal process, patent services, data analytics, editorial process and valuation, etc. So most common barriers in the case of KPO is transparency. Many organizations cannot find out which decisions are taken by whom and really so much on informal social process. Nowadays, KPO increases our functioning activity and we cannot tolerate the advantage of KPO. There are many advantages of KPO, so we cannot ignore the advantages. Today's era is KPO's era. So with this, our chapter is finished. Now with the related of KPO we will discuss in a case study. Here the case study is ABC Limited outsources several known core services like security services, sanitary services, courier services to an outside agencies. If any work that is held or that is produced or that is completed by the outsourcing agencies is called BPO, that is not in our syllabus. Whereas XYZ is outsourcing specialized service like IT services, financial services, research and development services. So it comes under the heading KPO. So state giving reason whether the services being outsourced by both companies are the same. No. ABC Limited by the services provided are the BPOs and where XYZ Limited are KPOs. So both are different. So students, with this concept our chapter is finished.